Uh, his research interests are performance-based earthquake engineering and nonlinear studies of gravity dams. I think you all have got this email, but again, just to introduce him once again, he co-founded Earthquake Pi, co-developed Earthquake Pi. I'm sorry. I think we all had a seminar on that, right? Yes. That was a cool thing. And he describes himself as an avid reader. He plays tennis, and we have seen him play badminton here also, right? He also is into Indic and tech history. I came to know about Indic history after from you. And he is also a blogger. He also has got some podcasts which we all had a nice experience a few days back. So with no more words, let's welcome Dr. Reddy. Sir.
Hello. So, thank you for the introduction. And is it audible? Right? So, let me introduce myself. I am Gautham Reddy, as we introduced. And now, when I was asked to give the exit seminar, I was thinking what to talk about. I mean, in the first go, I wasn't sure what to talk about because a lot of PhD advice is there, available online. Everyone, I mean, you talk to anyone, everyone has an advice for you. So I went to my professor and told that I had been asked to give an exit seminar. So he called me up and showed me a YouTube video. And I was like, hey, play that song for you.
Greatest marriage advice I can give any man, from Tim Hawkins. Hey honey, have you gained some weight in your rear end? The dress you wear reminds me of my old girlfriends. Where do you get those shoes? I think they're pretty lame. Would you stop talking, cause I'm trying to watch the game? If you're a man who wants to live a long and happy life, these are the things you don't say to your wife. I planned a hunting trip next week on your birthday. I didn't ask you, but I knew it'd be okay. Go make some dinner while I watch this fishing show. I taped it over our old wedding video. If you're a man who wants to live a long and happy life, these are the things you don't say to your wife. Your cooking's just okay, but not like my mother makes. The diamond in your ring I bought you is a fake. Your eyes look puppy dear, how are you feeling ill? Happy anniversary, I bought you a treadmill. If you're a man who wants to live a long and happy life, these are the things you don't say to your wife. If you're a man who wants to live a long and happy life, these are the things you don't say to your wife. Thank you.
listening to this song, so he told me, so your exit seminar is something you should be speaking about where the things about which you can't tell to me. So, but he is anyway in the audience. So what I worked on, so I was also given strict directives that this is not a technical talk, but to put things in perspective, I just quickly tell you what I worked on. So my thesis, my dissertation was titled Seismic Performance Evaluation of Concrete Gravity Dams, and where essentially we worked on developing a framework for damage quantification and seismic performance. And we also studied the effects of reservoir level elevation on seismic performance, and frequency content and reservoir elevation effects on gravity dams. So that's as quick as possible. So I have suffered a great many catastrophes in my life, and most of them never happened. So as Mark Twain said, so you can suffer a lot of imaginary fears and worries in your mind, but most of them would never happen. So essentially, we are now being asked to share our PhD experiences. I mean, so before me and after me, there will be a lot of people sharing their lot of experiences and their own catastrophes. So, but it doesn't mean they will happen to everyone. So whatever I'm going to tell, and whatever I'm going to share, so you can take it with a pinch of salt. So the advisor. So, I mean, I work with Professor Manish Srikante here, and my association is probably the longest for him also as well. I don't know. Been a very long while I'm here. So this is a very old picture, probably during my master's time. This was during the cognizance, and this has been the contact picture on my phone for a very, for almost until now. So my first experience was on my first day when I came to the department as a master's student, and my first lecture was finite element method. So when I saw, he had these small, the same classes there, and I was looking, so looks bit strict. So he began the class, he introduced the course structure and everything, and he asked a question like, does anyone, this course requires good programming skills, does anyone doesn't know programming skills? So I was sitting in the last bench and I lifted my hand. I looked around and I was the only person with my hand up. So he said, probably you should better learn programming or else it will be difficult to pass the course. So I was thinking to myself, oh, I have to pass the course. So never did I imagine that I'll be doing my master's and then finishing PhD under him. So yeah, so we are here. And also I scored 0 in the first midterm of finite element. So yeah, becoming legendary. So I'll probably start with that, because what it means by becoming legendary is that once you become a legend, so there will be stories floating around about you. You will be known that there is this person who is So what is legendary here is that probably you have spent enough time in the department and you will begin hearing stories about you. So you cannot quantify it, but one good way is to probably after 6.5 years you'll start becoming legendary. So say, thanks to COVID, there are many legends now. But irrespective of that, you can say 6 or 6.5 years, you can assume that you will be called a legend. So there can be other reasons to become a legend apart from COVID, is that maybe if you treat your PhD as a 9 to 5 job, so most probably you will end up becoming a legend. And the other reasons they can vary from people to people, but yeah. So but my advice is try not to be one. So snafu. So this is a acronym from US military during the World War II days. So which essentially describes what happens in a PhD during a PhD time wherever you are. So snafu is situation normal, or you can say, for the sake of decorum, fouled up. So which essentially means that all the time there is the normal situation in your PhD is everything is on fire. So that essentially should be hardly drilled into your mind. So PhD is a snafu, right? All throughout. So there are many advices. I mean, there are a number of books on PhD, how to fail a PhD, how to pass a PhD, but I would not, because those can become repetitive. And I just share a few things about what I felt. So on working, this, what I need to say is that whatever you are doing with your PhD work, so there are some productivity or some certain tips that can actually help you get along without being stressed out. So one of the things is, what I realized is, so everything that is repetitive can be automated. So that essentially comes from whether you are so pre-processing or post-processing of your results, essentially for numerical work, whatever you are doing. So everything that is repetitive, you should be automating. You should at least try to be automating. I'm not sure about experimental, because experimental, it's pretty tough to automate your experiments, but yeah, at least in your numerical work and or data analysis or in your plotting, this can help you save a lot of time. But for example, if you have a pre-processing or post-processing necessity, so you love it, because once you attain a degree of automation in your mundane work, so you can actually concentrate on working, bringing up the quality of your PhD. There are tools now available. You can choose any programming language or any other say tools that are available. I've always tried to automate your most mundane work. So writing progress reports in prose. So this is one of the, so I think my first progress report, I took it out and gave it to my professor for signature. I just wrote completed seminar. These are my post grades, and writing a literature review, and this is not your progress report is to be. I mean, write in a prose format. I was just wondering how to write these three in a prose format. So then after that, so every progress report was essentially completely detailing about my work, what has happened in the semester. So I'll tell you why it helps, because once you actually chronicle your work, so this can help in preparing your final thesis. It can make your job easy to patch things and stitch around the rest of the thesis with your progress reports. So at least avoid writing your progress reports in bullet points. And working directly in a cloud. So this is actually there are certain cases. I mean, it happened earlier in time that the laptops have been stolen. You might risk of losing your data. Your hard drive might be corrupted. So you don't know when can it happen. So it is very uncertain. So always try to keep work on a directory which is always on cloud, so that even it doesn't matter if you lose your laptop or if your disk is corrupted, you will always have access to your work. at least your documents, reports, codes, and any other small sized, small sized documents, everything you try to completely keep it on cloud. And of course, if you're working, your analysis files are very large, those cannot be uploaded on drive, but the main work, at least your papers, reports, thesis, and everything, at least keep them on cloud. So build quickly and fail quickly. So essentially it has become, the world is, at least the academia has become very competitive, and you cannot risk spending much more time trying to figure out stuff on your own pace. So one good thing, if you build quickly with a sense of urgency, and if you can fail quickly, so the essential iteration process can happen at a very fast pace, and you might tend to finish what you started. So note taking. So at least because with respect to your literature or any documentation from your work, so try to organize it as far as possible, as good as possible using there are many tools for cross-referencing, or your notepad or anything, Word, or you can use a reference manager. But recently I've been trying Obsidian. It's a it's based on Markdown language. You can check Obsidian on internet, and it's free, open source. It's a very powerful tool to arrange your work. It gives a graph view of where your knowledge, your points are connected to other literature. For example, if you have DAM and you have a section where you want to, which is related to foundation, so you can keep your foundation related stuff, which is related, like those two nodes are connected, and again, if that is connected to other nodes, so you can have a very graphical view of how your entire PhD knowledge tree looks like. So text editors. So this is one productivity tip I learned late into my PhD. So text editors, because we tend to spend most of our time typing, or essentially most of your time will be spent on typing your code or writing your reports. So essentially it is very useful if you can try out one of these text editors where what happens, like how your productivity to simply tell you is that you don't have to lift your fingers out of your keyboard throughout your process. You don't have to switch to mouse to navigate on the screen. You can just do the entire job with your two palms on the keyboard. So you can try that, because these WIM is visual, improved Emacs, and even Emacs and do Emacs are a crazy combination of WIM and Emacs. So you can try it. You can try it. Essentially, these were used in 1990s when you didn't have, when you were most of the time operating a remote system through terminal. So you can try these text editors, but these are, I'm not sure if they are available on Windows operating systems, but they're sure developed for Linux operating systems. Around working. So these are the things which you be traveling through. One thing is taking an active interest in helping peers. So it can be any way. So if you are helping them to arrange their plots, or having a discussion about their topic, or trying to brainstorm your work. So take active interest in peers, because essentially you will generate a lot of ideas when you're actually discussing your work, or and it goes beyond that. You tend to forge good relationships later into your life. Avoid hoarding or blocking resources. So especially I've seen, not many times, but at least the things have improved. So avoid blocking or hoarding resources in the computer lab. Let everyone have their share of work. Share of space in the computer lab. Things are much better now than how they were earlier, but keep mindful of that. That's what I understood. And it's also a creative challenge, but one of the things from my experience is that especially during the COVID time, I had all the computers, all the workstations at my disposal, and they were very powerful. And those computers are very powerful. So essentially, I used to run like 500, 600 analysis because every computer is open now. So essentially, I used to write some piece of code and then put the analysis and then spend some month or two, then realize that okay, something is wrong in my analysis. Okay, then again I correct that part and again without doing without having due diligence on the physics of the problem or anything, I just corrected that piece and again I put it again 2 months gone. Then again I realized okay, there is something wrong with it. So let me do. So at one point of time I was thinking, so essentially having abundant resources is also a disadvantage. So most of the time, if you have restricted resources, it can actually improve your creativity. You will tend to solve. You think creatively to address your problems. So embrace open source software. This is essentially because. So embrace open source software essentially because partly that was one mistake. I realized it very late into my PhD that I was working on Abacus and I realized its limitation late into my PhD. So I had to work around. I couldn't work around because it was already I was into the mud. So if you can embrace an open source software, it is advisable because you can mold it to your game. Essentially, because no one makes a software for your problem, so sometimes you have to build yours. So that can also happen. So Earthquake Pi. So this was co-developed by me and Digvijay, who was also a PhD student here. Also, if someone of you need to compute many seismic parameters which you might need in your data analysis, you can. And also, if you are working in Python, using Python, so you can download this and get all the automated parameters. You can just all the functions are there. You can just whatever parameter you need. And you can also, the good thing is if you develop something, you can contribute to this package. And the idea was that since I was writing my own piece of code which was customized for myself, and I also realized many people were using this, were needing the same information. So I thought, why not streamline it? Because we were using, I think, Seismosoft or Seismosignal, where you need to upload every ground motion or get the details. I don't know how it works, but I thought it was very cumbersome. And then it occurred to me, why not make a streamlined package? And also, this can also, we also have a lot of, you can generate response spectrum, you can generate Fourier spectra, Gauss spectra. There are many functionalities. If you can also, the good thing is you can also contribute. And so I went to Digvijay and asked him if he's interested to do this work, to join me and build this. So he was on board immediately. So it was a good experience, and working and building in open, essentially when you build an open source package, so you will have to make things which are, you'll be working open. Everyone will be seeing what your work and how you are developing this thing. And if someone is using your product, then definitely you will have to make you will have a sense of idea that you want to build this in a most better way. And also this gives an opportunity to learn beyond your curriculum, and you will also enjoy having an ownership on your idea. And essentially collaboration. So it definitely helps you build good network. You tend to build you don't know where you might get an opportunity from, where when you are developing something for yourself and collaborating with people. So it also developed a range of skills. Until then, I did not know how to use, how to properly streamline use classes or methods, and while we were building how to publish a package, how to structure it. Writing a piece of code for yourself is not a big deal, but when you are writing for others, it needs to be much better. You need to streamline it. It needs to be easy to read. So all the things both of us we learned when we were building this package. So I'd like to show some pictures. That's about PhD. Okay. This was the picture, probably. These were all my master's classmates, and this was on 2012 Diwali. So, yes. So this was a research group with my professor. And these were some of the pictures from my days. And my professor once told me that, concluded that if there is anyone who can do monkey business, that's me. So the person with the monkey mask is me. So I spent a good enough time playing tennis here, so some of the photographs from tennis. And this was from one of my treks in Himachal. These are some pictures which I took. Oh, acha. Okay. So this was from a trek in Himachal, and this is the Chatatra lake. It was clicked during sunset. This lake is around at an altitude of 14,000 feet and completely glacial fed. And this was another trek. This was another trek called Buran Pass. I was just climbing up to a nearby mountain, and I clicked this picture from there. And this is a spot in Uttarakhand. Like if you have not known the story of man eating leopard of Rudraprayag. So I went there. I read, there is a book on it. It was this leopard was killed by Jim Corbett. You can read it on my blog, just an introduction. And if you want to read more, you can pick up the book. So this is me. And in this trek, I went as a trek leader, but I did everything else apart from assisting my trek leader. So I just learned so this is me demonstrating how to put up the spikes. So I just, 5 minutes ago, I just learned from the trek leader and came up and demonstrating to the other people. So this is for this one of the, and this was my first time we experienced almost knee-depth snow when we were trekking in near Manali. And this was Gwari Pass in Uttarakhand. We got our tents and it was completely snowing there. And we also saw some dust snowstorm, and it was as if you are in Everest and you are taking this experience somewhere on the plains. This is also Hatigoda, and of course this is me. Proof that I took these pictures. Yeah, this is I recently did a wilderness first responder course, and where we were taught to administer emergency first aid. So these are the pictures from there. So we are being taught how to wrap a person in a sheet. This is me. So this was our classroom. So here, one of my batchmates was, trying to, sprain my ankle. So this was the night where we were preparing a patient report after a mock rescue scenario, and so this is my partner who, like, this is a situation where you are, if you don't have any medical tools available with you, you have to work with whatever you have. So he's trying to split my fractured elbow. So another picture, something like this, and so we are not happy. I mean, we are definitely happy because this is a mock scenario, and we have just treated that lady who lost her eyeball. So this was our group, and this was the picture from Cape Town, where I went to visit Cape of Good Hope. This was also in Cape Town. Yeah, I mean, of course, I went to present my work, so I just need to only go to Roma. So this was during the COVID when all the labs were closed. And he's Professor Pandey, he's a retired professor here, and I spent a lot of, at least I spent a lot of time, talking to him, and it occurred to me that since we keep talking more or less for hours and hours in his cabin, so I thought, why not record it? So that's how I started the podcast. This was during the lockdown, and all the department was closed, and I used to.
Where did you get that setup, all mixer and all?
I bought it.
You have it?
Yeah. So, yeah, you can listen to his podcast too. Yeah. Especially if you are unable to fall asleep in the night, you can just switch on his podcast, you will fall asleep. Definitely. So, this was my hardcore snafu days. I was like sleeping in my professor's office, working and sleeping in my professor's office. Don't do that. So this is our research group. Pratik Vijay and Rajiti, Saurabh sir. So this is me presenting my dissertation, defending my thesis, my committee, and this is a interesting picture. It's a picture of academic lineage where I have my advisor. He has his advisor, Vicky Gupta, and he has his advisor, Krishna. So very rare moment. So that's it. Let's go back to. So outside working. So of course you will have some time that will be spending outside working too. So explore around. I mean, not rookie, but since you are in a very accessible location where you can go around and you have a lot of mountains, many adventure activities. So try to also explore. Read outside work. So especially what I enjoyed also apart from my work is that I enjoy reading outside work. Essentially everything. I don't mind. I mean, whatever piques your interest, you just pick it up and read, and essentially it increases your range of intuition about. It gives the PhDs are called geeks who generally have no good, say what's that, Alzheimer's, something like that. So, reading, it's like you become a scout of knowledge. So you know how to correct things when you are reading everything, what you can, whatever you can. Write as a hobby. So essentially, you can chronicle your working, your interests. You can blog. I try to maintain a blog. You don't have to publish So you can become post it in an anonymous forum, something, develop a hobby. It's essentially, it becomes very useful when you, it makes you express things which you cannot find yourself clarify. Be crazy, but not a jerk. So becoming a role. So essentially, the advisor and advisee relationship, it is dynamic, changes over time. So we begin with hands-on approach by your advisor who teaches you how to pick up things, learn, write, work or something. But towards your end of your work, essentially the roles, you end up as a person who knows more about your topic than your advisor. So when that inversion happens, that is called becoming a rogue. So also don't become rogue too early or too late. So if you become a rogue too early, maybe you will be all over the place. We might endanger your work. If you're becoming a rogue too late, which means that you might frustrate your advisor. So you don't want to go and ask an advisor after you're doing your 5th or 6th year of your work, so what to do. So yeah. So now we have heard Susfu. So Snafu. Now there is Susfu. We'll come to that. So one thing is about becoming a legend. So there are many ways to become a legend. So there is this. My professor is here. There is one way to become a legend in the department. My professor also is. So one way is working with my advisor. Right? I'm just kidding. So that is, I tell you why. I tell you why, because throughout my duration as a PhD student, no prospective PhD student has ever come to me asking about advice working with Manish sir. Of course, Rahul came, but that's when he already decided that he wants to work with Manish sir. So yeah, just for a joke. See, if there are any prospective students, I'm just kidding. So you can. Except that if you like to play Snafu in a hardcore mode, if you want to play Snafu in a hardcore mode, you can work with Manish. So normalize Snafu, and if it becomes inevitable that you have become a legend, so learn to say Susfu. So if someone comes to you and says, after 5th or 6th year, bhai kya chal raha hai? You can say Susfu. What is Susfu? Situation unchanged. Still forward. So, and then one thing is, like always, in your PhD or on your own. So you have to hard drill it, and then, but you're not allowed. So, supervisor's law of inertia. I picked it up from my professor's blog, which is that a supervisor tends to produce graduate students who are his or her academic replicas, unless influenced by some external factors. So, with that, I'd like to conclude my talk, and I'd like to thank the department, everyone, for such an amazing experience. And I would like to thank my professor, Pankaj sir, who have also been my teachers, Yogendra sir.
Now you can tell them what you want.
What?
Now I can tell whatever you want to tell.
Okay. Alright, talk is done. So then, and I also, bas, thank you.
यही तो उनको बोल रहा था.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And we will also request the organizers to arrange exit seminar of Dr. Naveen.
When really
If
exited,
you have any questions.
Yeah, we were after him from so long time.
So,
No, you won't let him go, okay? Unless he
so that's it. If you have any questions.
I think you are bored, everyone.
No.
So how close you are becoming a legend?
So that my process.
No, I'm asking your opinion.
How close I am? I don't know. Yeah.
Done? Anyone from online session? You can ask them. Anyone from comment for that?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, so. I don't know.
Share after. Share.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Huh?
So, thank you and congratulations once again. Tea is there, please join.